Namaste. Today I'm going to share with you how to replace the feeling of brokenness with the feeling of awokenness. The feeling of things that are not right to the feeling of being alive. Some simple, easy steps. Hello, my name's Amanda Ramcharatar, and I am a yoga teacher of 20 years. I've been teaching huge demographic, over 10,000 hours of yoga I have spent in the world, working with elders, working with kids, working with youth, working with different fitness levels, people who have come from so many different walks of life. And what I have noticed over all of this time is that people who come to yoga come with something that's slightly off, whether they're physically slightly broken, mentally slightly broken, spiritually or emotionally also, something is not working well. So I just wanted to offer this little video on how to simply shift this feeling of brokenness, because often we can get stuck in these places, whether it's on a physical level, whether it's on an emotional level, and whether it's on a mental level. And when we get stuck in this feeling of brokenness, it's hard for us to move forward. So I just put this little video together to help possibly shift a little bit of that feeling to allow the energy back through. So I just wanted to say that there's this beautiful saying, the light gets in through the cracks. So the idea here is that when we have these feelings that something's not right, actually that's something that's telling us we need to look at something. So this is a beautiful way for our awareness to say, hey, let's look at this. And I came from the background when I first started approaching yoga. I already had a little bit of inkling into psychology. And I knew that there was things going on in our society that, it didn't seem like psychology was really getting to the source of what is going on. And that's why I looked to the answers of yoga, because yoga was this ancient knowledge, and they had some kind of answers. I really did feel like there was going to be something to in this knowledge. So I went to study, and what the first thing that happened was that I ended up studying on the physical level, the physicality of the body. And one thing about the body that really hit home for me was that there is a physical center. So the lower abdomen in our body is something called, in all ancient philosophies, the Dantian, the Hara, the Uddiyana Bandha, the Uddiyana area, where it's a strong feeling of strength. So the first thing that I offer is, if you stand up on your feet and you you close your eyes for a few breaths, breathing in and breathing out into this area, you should actually feel yourself coming home into the very center of your body. So this simply is the most simplest way of coming home to your physical center. And what this does on so many levels, on a physiological level, is it brings all the awareness into digestive fire, places that we move our food, things that we're taking through life. It also brings us into our legs. It takes us out of our heads. It's an incredible, very simple practice, simple but profound practice to bring us back to our physical center. And it really does work. So I give you a few moments, you pause the video and just try this experience. The next I would love for you to look at is your emotional center. The emotional center would be here, the center of the chest. So if you take your hands to the center of your chest, and I'm going to also offer a little right here. Probably didn't need a visual for that one, but it's nice just to have that image. So if you just take the hands to the heart, and they say when we bring our minds into the heart, and the heart has more neural pathways um, than the brain does. So when the brain comes into communication with the heart, and even for 5 seconds, we come into this emotional center, immediately we can come into a place, a home base. And this home base is one of the things that we can alleviate emotional stress, which a lot of stress comes into our reality. And not even because it's bad things. It could be family. It could be, family moving away from home. These kind of things are great in one way, but sad in another way. So when we come home and come back to that place of safety, of calmness, of acceptance, and we just let that rhythm of our heart come back into its natural state of flow, we bring ourselves into this type of center that our body needs, our brain needs, and our physical systems need. The next center that I offer you is the mental center. So the mental center, and it's at the center of the brain. So it's not just the center of the brain. It's just on the upper palate, kind of towards the back. So kind of where your upper palate, where the lower part of your palate and this eyes kind of meet in a little bit of a L, just right there. If you were to focus there, and again, I'm going to give you a little. And what I'd like you to just imagine this image here is just showing us like how we take in and we go out. So what we're going to do is just kind of bring all those waves that sometimes feel quite scratchy and erratic and tense, the feeling of mental tension, and we're going to make it waves like the ocean. Kind of like just feeling it move in and out of the center of the brain. Just for a few breaths. So this is just to allow us to, again, come back to center, and to align to these three centers brings us back to this very simple alignment in ourself. And I find this one of the most important parts of my teaching practice, and what people sometimes they come to, but they don't even realize this is the reason why they're coming here. They're coming for alignment to what is at the center. In this video, I just touched on very quickly three strong tools that you can use. I do have a course called Align to Essence, where I go through a little bit more tools, more ways to create focus, strength, emotional resilience. It can be found on Coursify. I'm going to leave that link at the bottom of the screen. And I really thank you for coming to watch this video. And I really hope that you can align to these centers inside and bring yourself back into yourself so that you can move forward into the world with balance and harmony. Namaste. Thank you.